You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV Saturday Night Live After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's SNL After Show.
Muy buenas tardes, señoras y señores.
Hola,
bienvenidos al show de Noche de Sábado en Vivo con Sofia Vergara.
Seaway.
Okay. Seaway. Hello, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to Saturday Night Live's AFTERBUZZ TV podcast.
We still exist.
We're still here, and we thank you
Reunited.
all for tuning in and listening to us. I am
definitely.
Mario Hernandez, and as always, the bad boys in the house.
yo.
That's right, Matthew Kyle.
Yo, Graham High up in Spizzle.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
I'm
we
sitting way
went-
too close for him to be that street.
Listen, I'll tone it down for you fools in a second.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you got a little sex.
I've been, you guys don't know what happens over the past month or so, man.
Oh, yeah, what's been going on, Graham?
Dude.
What happened, Graham?
No,
It's only been a
Breaking
month.
Bad, that's IRL, bro.
IRL.
I don't know.
I really. What?
It's in real life, man.
Oh, that's
Get
it.
on the
It's real.
internet.
Okay. We've secretly replaced Graham High with a.
Professional spray painter, apparently. I don't know what IRL means.
You guys can whitewash me. I'm back. Okay.
All right. And we're
Whitewash.
back.
Okay.
All right, and we are really excited about Saturday Night Live for sure. Before before we talk about that, big plug to our iTunes people. We want the comments, we want the ratings on the iTunes page, and sending it right back to you guys so you guys can continue to rap and all that good stuff.
Ronnie, it's weird. We don't get to see you now. We got the wall of Bing blocking you off. So
Got to represent Bing, man. It's all good.
Okay.
We could cut out a hole in that TV right there, and you could just stick your face through it.
Or we could just take a photo of Ronnie and then just stick it on the, on the window right above.
Yo, big shout out to Bing, though.
That's right. Bing in the house.
Right, Bing in the house.
My favorite Crosby, can I just say? Saturday Night Live was hosted by Modern Family and rising comedic superstar Sofia Vergara, with special musical guest One Direction. What did you? Who's in the house tonight?
I'm
The sixth member.
gonna sample that after every time we say One Direction.
So can we say that Sofia Vergara is taking over? I mean, she got the Three Stooges coming up. She is in the Pepsi commercials.
She was in 3 commercials.
She was in 3 separate commercials.
Right? Yeah,
She
they
was
started with 3 commercials in a row. It was like,
Incredible,
all right, taking
incredible.
over. Yeah.
Is it
Columbia in the house.
Yeah, what do you
right?
got? And by the way, sorry, and you know what? And I do want to say this because I was, floating around the internet today, kind of, doing some research. For those of you out there doing research
Adult
on
websites, gang. I'll tell you right now.
on Sofia Vergara, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
No, it's so. Listen, everyone. It is Colombian. With an
Colombia.
O. That's 2 O's. Okay, it's not Colombian like from Christopher Columbus or it's Colombian.
Right, Colombian. Right?
Close enough.
Yes,
white guy.
we'll take it.
Gringo.
So anyway, so I see that it's so like seriously, like if you're writing it, because that's when you spell it out, you're spelling it wrong if it's with a U. It's not with a U. It's 2 O's. Colombia. Anyway, but Sofia, who right away mentioned in her opening monologue, she's from Barranquilla, which is a wonderful city that I've actually been to, and I've said this before. All of the women there look like her. So if that is your thing,
Beautiful women. I mean, I
if,
enjoy them.
if that's your
That's not my thing.
Okay, so you stay home and you go visit
I
Colombia.
think poor and toothless is underrated.
Well, they have that in Colombia as well. They have that in Colombia as well.
Okay.
So there's, for
I like a
all-
girl who can chug a 2-liter of Mountain Dew in under 7 seconds. Is that cool?
That's the girl of my dreams, a woman after my own heart. You know, she mentioned Barranquilla in the opening monologue is Spanish for Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah.
Which is a great joke.
Yeah, great opening.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was really fun. Like, she had this whole stand-up routine going on. Very impressive. And she was hitting the jokes, and she kept it rolling. And it's a lot of pressure, I'm sure, for any type of actress who,
I saw her you saw her fidgeting a little bit with her fingers. I don't know if you guys noticed that when she was telling the first few jokes. She was just kind of doing this like nervous kind of picking with her nails. But
yeah.
I didn't notice her fingers at all.
Well, I watched it a few
Ankle man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at her cankles.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, I thought she handled it quite well. And I like how they got, you know, two things at the top of the show out of the way right away. It was just like, you know, forgive my accent and I will forgive you looking at my chest or my curves or my body or whatever.
Yeah, just
so
get
it's
a
like
contract.
right
I'll
there.
sign it.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, the accent and I have a smoking body. Like now let's move on. And then it didn't really become an issue. I don't really think it like came back up again. Although I did mention, you know, they gave her some tough words in some of the sketches and I was like, really? You can simplify that. You can find like a simpler version of that word, but I think she did quite well.
She did make gonorrhea sound really sexy though.
Incredibly.
Gonorrhea.
Like, that's what you got. Give it to me.
Yeah, she was.
You should
she
meet
was,
some of the toothless women I hang out with.
I feel a group outing in the works.
First to West Virginia wins.
That's right. So she was pretty good right out of the gate, which was great because I got a little worried because of course the top of the show once again, Saturday Night Live's I feel like Achilles heel, the political sketch at the top. And I was like, are we like? There's like we didn't even have anything happen this week except for I guess 3 primaries and you know the
Nobody's
eventual
paying attention anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
If they were before.
He's the nominee. Like let's move
He's
on. You know, Santorum and the other guy Newt are gonna stay on for whatever reason.
I don't know. It's
but
depressing.
like nobody cares. Nobody. It's not and certainly not worthy of comedy. Although I did like the premise that Mitt Romney is basically a an attention whore and, you know, wants all these endorsements. And so he shows up at all these conventions and stuff, but a little overlong and one joke that could have, like, it just needed kind of like a second beat.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's tough because they're doing it live. So there's the interchange between, you know, they pull to camera. So they give you this, you know, the title card screen and then they're changing everybody. You know, it slows it down.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. Yeah. Why not just do it once and then, you know, have them walk through the crowd? Or I don't know.
I feel like they always make that bit 5 minutes. It's like a rule. It's either 4:59 or 5:01.
Yeah.
You know, we have to fill this out. You know, it's like
yeah.
there's no room and it's always too long.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if they just went in there, did like a solid like 2-3 minute thing, just kind of like whet your appetite, hit something hard, and then go right into it to kind of keep the energy up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you already get the punchline of the joke when they set it up.
Right.
And
The
then
first time.
Like,
Yeah.
we don't believe you. And it was like, well, okay, yeah, everything's going to go that way.
Yeah.
So the funny part is the setup. If you get a good setup, flesh it out, and then it'll be way better.
Yeah.
And might as well just list off all the different things that he's trying to sell. Although I did enjoy him. What was you know, if I had to develop a terminal disease, diabetes.
Diabetes would be it.
Adult onset diabetes. That's a winner, though.
Yeah.
I feel good
That's a
about
good
it.
choice. I mean, there's not many.
But again, it's so close to reality because he's, you know, the whole thing is that he's, you know, kind of spineless and kind of, you know, wherever the wind blows, that it's like, you know, if he came out and said that tomorrow, like, I'm not, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, that's not, like, I get that, you know? So a little flat there. What were some highlights though? What were some of the sketches that really struck you guys as really, really solid last night?
I liked a couple of the commercials right off the bat.
yeah.
I mean, they started with the next commercial after that, which was Just Friends, which was the booty shorts, you know, for the guys who don't want to appear to be gay.
That's right.
And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think the highlight of that had to be when they're like, we also sell the not gay T-shirts. One says not, the other says gay, and then the not guy he walks away, and all like the bikers approach him, and he's clenching up.
Did you notice that Jason Sudeikis had the cell phone tucked into the front of the shorts?
Yes.
Because like there's no pockets on those shorts.
Right.
Oh,
So-
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's just for a split second. I was like, what's that sticking out of it? Oh. So it's,
That is another great example of your classic eye line.
yeah, no.
That's right.
I'm on the prowl, man.
It's not, you sounded kind of disappointed. You're like, what is the?
Oh, yeah.
Just the cell phone. But can I just say now that homoeroticism and bromance is now seeping into the popular culture and commercials. By my count, there are now and certainly those of you that are listening to us, if you can think of some other examples, send them in to us, or tweet us, or call in. But there's the Burger King commercial with David Beckham, where the manager steps in it's the smoothies commercial, where he steps in, and then all of a sudden he's enchanted, and the music swells, and the tunnel vision as he sees David Beckham. And then I saw Subway. It's a Subway commercial where the two guys are eating their Subway sandwiches, and they go off into this reverie and then it's like the two of them kind of, I forget what they're doing, but it's kind of like, they're really like close, and they become friends. They connect with the sandwich, and then it's like back to reality. They're in the store, and they're like, oh, so did you see the game last night? Yeah. So this is now becoming a thing, which I think is interesting, and we'll talk a bit more about this because you mentioned with the new cast member. We got a lot to talk about today. Yeah, we got new cast members. We got potential cast members that might be leaving. The rumor mill, the scoop that we said first. By the way, that I think you said, right, Graham? Was it you that said?
I mean, we all kind of hit around it, but I feel like I just nailed it down. Like, let's all agree.
Okay, it was Graham.
I don't.
It was regular Graham, not street Graham, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this was before Street Graham showed up.
It's kind of like a Fight Club thing right now. I mean, he's always been there.
He's always been there. You just got to unleash him.
Yeah.
So the commercials, we had the retread of the HPV doll.
Yeah. Which is okay. I mean, that's still a good commercial. Yeah. I like it. It's never my favorite.
However, it's a little mistimed, because if you'll recall, when it was first aired, there was this idea. Rick Perry, remember him, was still in the race. And he had tried to get to make HPV vaccines mandatory in Texas, and there was some controversy about that. That's where that came from. This idea that how do we mandatorily how do we make these, how do we get the girls to do it? It's like, we'll stick them in the dolls kind of thing.
I'm learning so much from you today.
Yeah.
You're like the cool science teacher who sits on the edge of the front of the desk, with the jeans on.
Be like, the Pope divided South America on the line of demarcation. Everything west of the line was Spain, and everything east of the line was Portugal.
Yeah.
The line of
demarcation. Get out of town.
1548. Anyway, what about you, Graham? What were some things that you liked?
Let's see. I thought all my favorite ones were at the beginning. I like the Just Friends booty shorts. The Being Quirky was pretty good again.
Being quirky. Zoe. I'm still dating Zoe, so how you doing?
So be nice to her.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's you got to keep them down a little bit so they think more of you.
So they get
put me on a pedestal.
That's right. That's right.
Don't make her feel too good about herself.
It's in my book, Controlling Women.
I thought by Matthew Kyle.
By Matthew Kyle.
All of the impressions in that Kristen Wiig. I hadn't
Drew
heard
Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore was she had the lip and the lisps.
Magical. Years ago, I remember Kate Hudson did a good one.
Yes.
When she was getting interviewed on Inside the Actors.
Yes.
Will Ferrell.
Yes.
But yeah, solid Drew Barrymore.
Yep.
Everything she does is. I mean, it's kind of, we waste a lot of time talking about Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
In a good way, because everything she does is great. But that's what I'm saying. It's like we don't have a polar contrasting views on Kristen Wiig. It's just like, what'd she do fabulous this week? Drew Barrymore.
Right.
Right.
I did like how Drew Barrymore pointed out that Jason Gordon-Levitt pretty much does anything that Zooey Deschanel says.
Yes.
Like, he's just her slave, more or less. And I could see that in a world. Like, he's a nice guy, but he probably will do whatever Zooey says.
Well, we often talk about sketch writing and what to do when you're writing, and that's the essential thing. You take a character. Now, it helps in this case that Michael Cera in real life, and we don't know that he's this poor little kind of rag doll to obviously to Zooey Deschanel.
All right, Sarah. Oh, you're really great.
But this idea that, and that's funny because it's kind of like the early Mickey Mouse voice, same voice. But this idea that that he might be a little spineless, right? That he can be easily manipulated. So now it's like, okay, well, where is the funniest place that we can put him in? What scene can we? Okay, we'll have him be Zooey Deschanel's slave, which is funny because Zooey Deschanel is probably the least abusive or person who would take the least advantage of someone, and yet that would just underscore just how submissive this kid is because maybe he's in love with her or whatever. And so it's like very simple premise. Michael Cera will do whatever, and so he's just kind of in the background. He's kind of the Andy Richter or the Doc Severinsen, or he's the sidekick, right? And he's making cookies and doing
but it's
whatever.
Funny. It's funny that it's the Zooey Deschanel show, and it works that way. But everything that makes it the Zoe Deschanel show, which is, you know, her and Michael Cera, all becomes Greek theater secondary commentary, you know, because it's about the guests.
Yep.
You know, when Zoe Deschanel was on, you know, a month ago, and she played the Olsen.
That's right.
Yeah. And
Mary
so
Kate
it's all...
or Ashley. Which
Yeah.
one's the actor? I don't know.
It's hard
Elizabeth
to tell.
now.
Oh, yeah.
Elizabeth is the actor.
Oh, the little sister.
The new one.
Yeah, coming up.
And she's great.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Marlene Macy, really good movie.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It becomes background basically,
Yeah, about
but
them, yeah.
solid, you know, because it's like, you know, they hit it one or two, and then
wow.
and then it's back to the guest.
Yeah.
And again, Sofia Vergara, I gotta hand it to the writers of SNL. Well, and I gotta hand it, of course, to a seasoned comedic actress who came in and really went with it, and they gave her a lot to work with, you know, with the exception of one sketch, the Ortiz show. She didn't play a Latina in any of the sketches. So kudos to them for not doing, you know, variations of the same character, for really, you know, stretching her out and letting her do these different things.
That's
and
a really good point.
Her Fran Drescher was excellent. And again, it's, you know, you don't have to do much. You just got to do the ha.
Yeah.
But she did it great, and she really kind of enunciated, and that was part of the fun, watching her kind of really, you know, do the Fran Drescher.
She
You could
never
see her
quite gets
pulling
out of it.
out. Yeah, no, but it's wonderful because it's like you don't, you know.
It was cute. It was like a slow version of Fran Drescher sometime.
Yeah, but it was wonderful, and it was, you know, credit the writers. And again, that's the difference when you have a comedic actor versus, you know, who's the stock car driver that they had on there, the Jeff Gordon. You know, when Jeff Gordon was on, it's like, okay,
Gordon.
you know, it's tough.
I don't really believe him as a human, so it's hard for me to see him on SNL.
He's now gonna have you killed.
He's designed
Damn
by
it!
Ford.
Oh, I forgot about the Illuminati. I'm sorry, Republicans. Damn it!
The NASCAR Illuminati.
Yeah, the NASCAR Illuminati. They get places really quick.
They can get anywhere in 15 minutes or less, including your house.
Yeah, I guess they're linked with their 80s Sparrows is their sponsor. 30 minutes or less.
How about Almost Pizza?
Yes.
Almost Pizza was so fun. That reminded me of the weird stuff they had in the early 90s.
Yes.
You know, the commercials they
yes.
did were so strange.
Yes.
And that one, you know, obviously doesn't make any sense, really.
It didn't have to, though.
But
Again,
it was just so fun.
Yeah.
And they cut it so well. It was so well played, too, you know?
He slaps it out of her hand. First he grabes her hand, then he slaps it and it scampers off. Like, what is this?
Then she does the fake bite thing.
It's like,
I'll eat it.
yeah, I like how it like changes right when she's like, just go ahead and eat it. It's starting to get cold. And he's like, if anything, it's getting hotter. And then that, from then on, it takes on like some kind of crazy life. Like
alien.
It's some kind of alien form.
Yeah. No. I'll tell you what was not almost pizza. What was exactly pizza was the pizza on the kitchen from Maria's mother. So thank you so much, Maria's mom with the pizza. It was really good.
Thumbs up.
A little Easter pizza, a little Greek pizza.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Happy Passover. Happy Voodoo Day.
Yeah. Let's just get that right out on the top 20 minutes.
We meant to. Should have said that earlier, but yeah. I mean, you know, you're probably listening to this on the podcast, so it's not Easter where you are, and you're probably watching
to celebrate.
You're probably watching Mad Men wherever you are. So what? Okay, Gilly was this? What do we think? Gilly.
That's my Will Forte. Gilly.
Yes.
Gilly is always it's always a fun one, you know. It's like I don't even know exactly what it's parodying, but it's parodying something. It is that Problem Child-esque type piece, you know.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, repetitive and one beat, and they're gonna hit it over and over again.
It's Kristen Wiig's face that makes it for me. Just that stupid,
Sorry. Yeah.
that overbite,
The gnawing of the lip.
It was I don't know if it was the directing. I was trying to figure it out because there were a couple cuts that took too long to go back, and there was even a scene where Gilly was halfway in the frame when she shouldn't have been.
You're right. The one they did hit though is when Bobby Moynihan got an erection.
Yes.
That was great.
And the book.
The book goes ding.
Cool.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
But she played it a little differently. She was talking in complete sentences. Before, she'd just have phrases. Sorry.
Right.
You know, she wouldn't say much else. And this one, she was opening up a little more. I don't know. It felt a little bit like a swan song to me of the piece, especially when they did, you know, the flash forward of her dying.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, that is the end. And she's like, I was just pretending. And I was like, oh, maybe it's not the end. I don't know.
Right,
You're sending me mixed signals, Kristen Wiig. So
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get her. Somebody can get her on the phone or tweet her or something, and, and get to the bottom of what's
That's cool.
happening. Yeah, that's your. So you got Zoe Deschanel over here, and Kristen Wiig is more your speed.
Yeah, I mean,
You're gonna call? I'll tin can phone Zoe. That's how close we are, but whatever.
Let her cut out of newspapers. Seal with my lips.
I know you're a big fan of Drunk Uncle.
Yes, I am.
So what did you think of his appearance last night?
I really liked it. It's just all of his stuff.
Do you have a drunk uncle or someone like that?
Yeah,
do you know someone like that?
I've had a couple.
Are you
beers
that
with
guy?
My uncle.
Street Graham is drunk uncle.
No, that's the thing. I'm going to turn into that guy. Thank you. Yeah, man. I just get drunk and talk about stuff. I like the you know what I call Hunger Games? Trying to feed 6 children on exterminator salary. That dude. Because there's tons of Hunger Game jokes, and that's the first one I ever laughed at.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a good Hunger Game.
I got to tell you, I visit a lot of these news aggregate sites where you go to like one place and they list all the different. And I was literally, this was about a week ago. I clicked on all the sections. So it's like I click on religion, it's got all the religion articles. You click on politics, all the politics articles, business. And in every section, no joke, there was, by my count, at least 5 different blog posts, articles, whatever you want to call them, that had to do with the Hunger Games. Like, you know, in the religion, there was like the spirituality of the Hunger Games. And it was like, in business, they were like, could the Hunger Games actually happen in Africa? You know, it's like all of these like Hunger Games just kind of seeping itself into our subconscious or national consciousness.
over.
Have you guys read the books and or seen the movies?
I don't read.
You don't read. I knew that. I don't know why I asked
I'll say it
that.
again.
I didn't have to
I don't
ask you.
read.
Yeah.
I watched Battle Royale.
Yes.
I did see Hunger Games though.
Oh, you did?
I
Okay.
did watch it.
All right. So
Am I the only one who's seen it?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
it's only made
I
like
was-
$9 billion.
Yeah, but not through me.
You guys are off the grid. I respect you.
Well, I'm just waiting for the
I don't
hype
have
to
a
die
girlfriend.
down. I don't.
No, that's right. That's right. That's why you haven't seen Channing Tatum movies either.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, Hunger Games. It's
So give us your review because you're the
2.5,
first.
3 stars.
Okay.
It's runs a little on the long side, but I kind of feel like, what are you gonna do these days when they're doing novel to screenplay format? They feel like they can't cut anything,
Right.
so it seems like all they do is condense the important relationships. So it's like within 5 minutes they're like in a deep committed relationship and they're so in love and everything's so desperate.
Yeah.
So those are the only things that feel rushed, but it's a good movie.
Wait, it's not because they're gonna die. I mean,
That's what was going on.
I mean, when you're gonna die, you're just like, all right, let's do it.
I was making out for a while in the movie.
Were you?
Yes, I was.
Oh man.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. There's a little Saved by the Bell clip.
Freeze!
Freeze.
Boner games.
The boner games.
Making out movies.
You can say anything and then games and it's going to be funny.
Yeah.
That's my new meme.
But it's
my
good. I
main
tell
games.
people, it's worth seeing. I mean, obviously you'll see it at some point, whether you rent it or whatnot. But, 2.5, 3 stars. That's what I can say. I would lean more towards the 2.5.
Out
but
of 10.
That's not really my thing. Out of
Well, it's everywhere. I mean, it was in the final sketch of the night. It was in the where she did, which I thought was great, by the way. I
really
thought,
not me.
No?
No.
Well, because you've seen the movie, that's why I have no concept.
Well, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
there's no spoiler alert, but obviously the berries are a part of the movie and they'll
Right.
kill you.
Yeah. I figured.
So that's the only part, really, I think that you'd have to see the movie to understand is the bit. But your SNL, Hunger Games, biggest thing. A movie that's #1 3 weeks in a row these days that's unheard of. That's astonishing.
Right.
So the fact that it's accomplished that, it's taken over the world. It's the new thing,
Yeah.
And so they need to do something on it. And I was just like, really? The field reporter? Ugh. That's what I felt like when
What
I
did
saw
you
her
think?
out there.
You be the tiebreaker.
I didn't.
No.
I didn't like it, no.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
you're on an island.
I'm on the I'm the dissenting
Yeah.
opinion on the
I
Supreme
wanted
Court.
to.
Wow.
I like Fred Armisen.
Yeah, doing the Stanley Tucci character in the movie.
Oh, in the studio.
Yeah, which was funny is because obviously this is parody, so usually things are amped up.
Yeah.
And he played it way under what Stanley Tucci plays it in the movie. Stanley Tucci, he's like, ha! He's very out there like that, and he didn't play it like that. So, and I don't know who Bill Hader's character was. I didn't remember him from the movie, but
Liked his hair.
Again, maybe Hunger Games fans out there can let us know.
Yeah.
yeah, enlighten us on. Leave a comment. But
What did you like about it?
what did I like
was
about
just
the
so
bit
not-
or the movie?
Well,
No, I'm the only one. I'm the only one that liked
okay.
it.
Yeah.
What did I like about it? I liked the overly enthusiastic reporter. The fact, which is the whole point of the Hunger Games, right? Is that this kind of dystopian idea that people killing each other for food is sport. So
No, that's not it.
oh, okay.
Because a lot of people in the Hunger Games, they actually die of natural causes. They say like 90% of them actually. So it's not about exactly killing people, although that is an important element of
It's
the
not a
Hunger
gladiator thing. They don't go against each other.
Games. Yes and no, but it's not exactly a gladiator thing. Like you're just in this kind of bubble that they've created, kind of like a Truman Show bubble, if you will.
Oh, it's not like the Running Man where you have to get out of the labyrinth or whatever.
No, that's what I thought. But they make a point of saying that a lot of people die of starvation or natural causes. They did some, obviously
age.
it's all computerized. So they like create animals that like could kill you, or they start a fire at one point. If somebody's watching this and was waiting to see the movie,
sorry
they're
if you're
going to be
trying
really bummed.
Okay,
but-
but my point is that it's death and it's killing, right? It's death and it's
Yeah,
right.
until there's one victor and that person lives on, and everybody else from these poor communities, it's kind of like their reparations to...
Right, they get to now eat.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. So.
This idea though that that somebody is going to be like the live happy field report. It's like, hey, we're coming to you live. I'm down here at the State County Fair where we've got Jill here who's made a great blueberry pie. Tell us about your pie. So that to me was funny. That it's Sofia Vergara who's just like doing this kind of perky whatever, and then the combatants or whatever you want to call them are just like shut up, get out of here, just beat it. I thought that was funny. I thought it was way better than most of the final sketches that we've seen that are just kind of abysmal and embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know, but again, I'm a huge Sofia Vergara fan.
I get that.
I'm cutting her.
if she has to be in it, I don't know. A crackhead in there would be so much more entertaining just to see them go, because they have all the survival skills,
Right. Okay.
Like, I haven't eaten in 20 weeks.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a Dave Chappelle character. Was it Tyrone?
Tyrone Bigham.
Yeah. Throw him in the Hunger Games.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be awesome. So I think we've probably hit them all, right? Except for the last two, which we're holding off on purpose. We had first the Andy Cohen show, which incredibly enough, I know you're not crazy about it, and you did not like it. No. Okay, I thought it was all right. I thought it wasn't spectacular. If you've ever seen Andy Cohen, you get it, and it's actually one of the sketches that has gotten the most attention on the internet. Because
Really?
yeah,
That
it's one of the one that's really that people are talking about and that have been written about, because everyone generally agrees, and my apologies if it's not my opinion, but I'm ambivalent, that Bravo is a how can I put this delicately, that Bravo is not a very good channel. That besides Top Chef, it's it's got 15 Real Housewives, and I know we cover a lot of these shows here at AfterBuzz, so that's that. But we've got the Persian show, which they mentioned, which is like a bit the Shahs of Sunset,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, okay.
Which is caused controversy, and the city of West Hollywood is actually they I don't know if you guys heard this. The city of West Hollywood put out an what's it called when you put out an ordinance, have decreed that the show is detrimental to Persians, to Persian Americans, and so
Wow.
it's generally agreed that Bravo has just really just kind of nosedived in terms of quality programming.
You have all the scoops.
Yeah, well,
We're going to call you good Baskin Robbins.
Nice.
31 factoids, yo.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's a thing. It's a situation, Bravo, and this guy Andy Cohen, where it's already ripe for parody, and he's kind of one of these kind of manufactured announcer guys that nobody's
well,
really
he like
a fan
executive
of.
produces all these shows, right? That's like his niche.
Is it?
I think that's his niche, where I don't know exactly what he is on the executive business side of it, but I know he executive produces a few of those shows.
Okay.
And so that's
You're
how
showing
he-
the limitations of my research. It's like I stopped reading after
either
the first
that or I'm
paragraph.
showing my dedication to Bravo.
Check is in the mail,
Check is in the mail,
from
thank you.
Bravo.
It's the
I didn't
best
even know the
network
show
ever.
existed. I thought it was another one of these. Until halfway through, I was like, "Oh, this must be a real show."
Yeah,
I thought it was
yeah,
like the Manuel Ortiz kind of thing.
Right.
where
It's their
like-
after show for their shows.
Yeah.
It's like they have the Real Housewives or whatever, like he's mentioning the other shows. Tabitha Takes Over obviously was reference in the bit, and then he brings those.
So how
people
meta
on.
is this? Because we're doing an after show of the parody show of the after show of the show.
Baby, that's the fractals of entertainment.
Thank you. The fractals of entertainment. I like
right.
that. That's really good.
Look it up, mathematicians.
And then, of course, we had, and so this is why we're mentioning it now. We have new cast member Kay McKinnon, who played what's her
Tabitha
name?
Takes Over.
Tabitha takes
Yeah.
over. The Australian,
And she did a fabulous job.
she did really, yeah, she did a really spot on impression and really good, little bit with the kids.
Yep.
So that was a lot of fun. And then the second to last sketch of the night was the Pantene commercial with once again Kay McKinnon playing Penelope Cruz
doing another impression.
impression,
Yeah.
and doing this Pantene with Sofia Vergara, and the whole joke was that Sofia Vergara gets the easy words,
Nice.
while she gets
Solenified acid.
Yeah, yeah.
La Capasha.
What did you guys think of that sketch?
It's all right.
Guys, did we watch the same show?
Listen, I'll say this. For me, this episode was a B cup out of a possible double D.
You know what? That's completely inappropriate given the host. You wouldn't be saying that if it was Charles Barkley.
Exactly.
Or Charles Grodin.
No, I'm not gonna get angry with a B cup.
I always heard that more than a mouthful was a waste. Am I the only one who knew that?
Wow, we have just plummeted.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
Thank you for guaranteeing that no female guests will now ever come onto this show. Thank you, Graham.
I'll play the betting odds on that one, and I'll push, and I'll say I was in the middle. I enjoyed it. It was just, after the first line, you knew where it was going, and then I did like Refrigerator. I thought that was fun.
Oh, yeah,
So I'm gonna lean towards liking it, but it didn't completely move me. But I thought it was well done.
Okay,
I'll say that.
I see. My simple measurement is how many times am I LOLing? That's laugh out loud for all you old timers out there. And this one I really did. The whole show I actually did. Even and again, I grant that I am leaning towards laughing at a lot of the things that Sofia Vergara does. I'm delighted that they had not a Hispanic American, a Latina on there hosting.
Right.
And she's got the comedic chops and apparently the range, which I think not a lot of people, including myself, knew. And yeah, just this idea that.
But
Go ahead.
Graham's street, and I'm white bread, and you have some culture. I mean, you're gonna connect better.
I get it.
than us.
Yeah.
You know, we're the fools here. You know?
This is
Okay,
something
well
I
then
would-
let me go ahead.
Well, you may, since you have a Hispanic background, this is something I've noticed. That maybe you can go.
Don't say something about the chicken.
Views
What'd you
expressed herein
say?
are those of the host only, do not necessarily reflect the views of
All right, I'm
AfterBuzz
just
TV
cutting
or its
edge,
owners
man.
or principal.
I'm
Bring
saying
it,
that I've
Holmes.
noticed in comedy lately, Latin culture is infiltrating a lot. Like even something as mainstream as Toy Story 3, you have the Buzz Lightyear. Like that was a big kind of like the sexy
With the Spaniard.
Spaniard.
Español.
You
yeah.
have
Right.
Casa de mi Padre, and you have Sofia Vergara, and you have a lot of this kind of influx. And I think part of it is because the culture, the landscape of America is changing to where more Americans are. I don't want to say Americans, but white bread, standard.
Just say it, me.
Yeah. People
Guys
from
like
Colorado.
Matthew.
Well, no, it's
Colorado.
they're becoming more in touch with, the Latin community as a large.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I dated this girl
Here we
for
go.
a while.
Here comes the
She
real
was from
reason.
Chile.
Why does she?
No, is
explain something to
Is
me.
she from Chile, or did she
I'm-
work at Chili's?
Both.
Perfect.
It's true.
I know.
But she used to lament that
lament.
Americans thought that the Spanish language is funny, like they say it in a funny way, like, and it's like, oh, you guys are looking at the clock, like, right. I've gotten my point. My thing is that Americans are enjoying the Spanish culture more, and it's becoming more of like a, I don't know, a style, a flavor in comedy.
I hear you.
more
Well, it's
than
something
before
that
has.
you have to keep putting your toe in that pool for middle America to kind of get it. George Lopez show is kind of a break in that direction, and other things where people can kind of get on board and understand the culture a little more, and then they kind of get the inside jokes and things that are going on.
Well, the irony, of course, is that to think of it as that something is kind of infiltrating, or rather is becoming more prevalent in the culture, is that a lot of it has already been there. You know, it's funny you say you're from Colorado. That's a Spanish word. It's a Spanish name that was actually a part of Mexico. It's Colorado. We live in Los Angeles, which is actually Los Angeles. And the actual name of Los Angeles is like a 14 name. It's like Los Angeles de la Maria de la Conchita. Like the actual name of the city is like 14 words long.
Really?
Yeah. Look at. I'll find out what it is.
Again.
But
Spanish.
The knowledge base.
I
here.
agree.
Oh Lord.
The teacher.
It's like I'm playing with a leapfrog.
So, but I'm in complete agreement with you. The only thing though that I would like to see, personally, and anybody, you know, the difference from kind of someone on the outside of the Hispanic wave and kind of the inside is that a lot of the examples that you gave are not generated by Hispanics. You know, Latinos have their own, you know, networks, and you know, Mundo Fox is going to launch in the fall, which is Fox's now entry into the Spanish language channel network. But like something like Casa de Mi Padre, or what were the other examples that you gave?
Like Toy Story
3. Like this is not content generated by Latinos. These are people that are including that then you know, give jobs to Hispanics. You know, there was a bit of a minor controversy this year when not controversy, but there was some kind of snickering when Damian Bachir was nominated for Best Actor for A Better Life, right? So he was nominated, and he plays a gardener in that. And so some people were joking that it was like, well, that's the Academy's way of feeling bad that they, you know, mistreat their gardeners.
Oh yeah,
you know, even though he did a great job and it's a great movie. So yeah, I mean, that to me is what's kind of exciting, is that someone like Sofia, and you know, not that we're disagreeing with this at all, but someone like Sofia Vergara, who's kind of, you know, pushing the boundaries and the understanding of what Latinas in this case can do. You know, now a young Hispanic girl in America realizes that she doesn't have to become a newscaster or some sort of other, even though they did a sketch on newscasters. You know, she doesn't have to become a model. She doesn't have to become, she can be a comedian. She can be a beautiful, voluptuous comedian and still be taken seriously because she's doing all these things.
And I think connect to a point that you made earlier in the show. She can just be a comedian. She doesn't have to be a Latina comedian. She doesn't have to play Latinas on the show. She did all these other characters, you know? So I hope they take a note and let Jay Farrow know that he can play a regular character.
Jay Farrow, they let him literally stick his head into one sketch, like in like
I almost feel like he was cut beforehand, and he was like, I'm gonna go up in there just like
exactly.
It's in my contract that I show up at least once, besides the you know, thank you, good night. It's I mean, it's tough.
It's too much talent to be sitting on the sidelines for a show that's so impression heavy. And they have a guy who, if you've ever seen any of his YouTube videos, and I'd recommend anybody listening to go look up
check him out.
YouTube.
Hysterical.
But you know, the 50 Faces of Jay Farrow, he does 50 impressions. He has a new one where he does another 25.
Wow.
They're all top notch.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's no reason why he should be sitting on the sidelines.
Well, I was talking about the WTF podcast with Mark Maron that I listened to with Chris Rock, and you know, Chris Rock left SNL because he realized that it was only going to be a certain thing, and he tells the story that when Wanda Sykes was going to be having her show. You know, Chris Rock was like, Wanda, I know what they're going to want you to do. They're going to want you to do impressions of famous people and racial stuff. And she was like, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And then sure enough, she came back to him like a month later. I was like, that's all they want to do is impressions of famous black folks and, you know, racial stuff. So, yeah, you know, it's obviously, you know, and we have different shows for that. You know, you mentioned Key and Peele on Comedy Central. There's another show on Adult Swim with the guys from Odd Future. I forget the name, but they do kind of really... like I'm thinking of all these like crazy names. I'm like Sweat Soup. Yeah, that's not it.
Like,
I'll look it up at the commercial break. But it's so, and those guys actually are not even necessarily doing ethnic, even though they're all African American. They're not even necessarily.
But Key and Peele are so gentrified. It's funny because sometimes they do racial stuff, and I'm like, are you guys okay? I forgot because you guys
let you do that.
They're so Harvard. You're like, okay.
Exactly. So it's you know, there's it's showing up in different places. But I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the show. But hey, listen, tell us what you guys think out there. Those of you that saw the show, tweet us. AfterBuzz TV, and let us know, or give us a call here in the studio. We're going to go to commercial, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about new cast member Kay McKinnon, and then also the possible departure of some favorite cast members and what that means for the show in the future.
Moving forward. Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you. A lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net.
And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after-shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
So let us know what you want to buzz about, folks. You can reach us, of course, on Twitter. We're at AfterBuzzTV. You can phone us here in the studio.
Or just like and comment us to death.
You can like and comment us. You can reach out to us. We'll tell you how to reach us at the end of the show, as we always do.
Visit me at the community pool in my apartment center. Share a wine cooler.
Graham's the guy that's out there poolside Monday through Saturday.
Spray painting IRL on everything. Like, this lounge chair's mine.
Graham's lounge chair. You know, you're right. We didn't talk about musical guest One Direction.
One Direction.
What do we think? Are they going to go only in one direction, or
straight to the top?
Will it be up and down for them? What'd you guys think? Had you let me honestly, had you even heard of them before?
No.
The first time I heard about them was about a month ago, and it was something I saw pop up on the internet, and it was a screen capture of a news article.
Okay.
And it said 10 reasons why One Direction is better than the Beatles. Ooh. And I had like picture of them, and that was the first thing I was like, who are these kids?
I changed my opinion. They are our generation's Beatles, I think.
Oh my, that's a pretty bold statement. Actually, it's funny though, because on the way here, I was thinking about, like, you know, every generation has their boy bands. It's cyclical, right? It's literally every generation. So I remember, if you go way back to when I was a kid, it was like Menudo and all those. But it was like New Kids on the Block was the first one that I remember.
NKOTB,
right? And before they were NKOTB,
yeah,
they were New Kids on the Block
when they had actually hit songs. Yeah.
Right.
Certainly.
And then
Boys to Men. Which actually walked that line of being a boy band, but were actually like
they started late though. They didn't break out till after
91.
High school, and I know this because the brother of a friend of mine was in the a cappella group with them in high school.
Oh man!
And then did not continue on with them, and did not cash in.
Socket,
yeah,
socket,
yeah.
Oh no.
And of course, Backstreet Boys was the other one. NSYNC. Thank you.
98 degrees.
98 degrees, and now One Direction.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was like, you know, and of course we say the Beatles, right, because they were kind of the first boy. They were literally a band, and but those guys were cool because they did drugs.
Yeah, man.
These kids today, they played instruments and they did drugs. What do these kids do? They get their hair did.
They get their hair did up.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
That was disturbing, some of the haircuts those guys were rocking.
And we were saying that they didn't, I felt like they didn't have their like individual styles beyond their hair. Like there wasn't like the bad boy. There wasn't the
heartthrob. The shy guy.
The singer, the really good singer. There's
the
one
really
kid
good
that's
singer
like
who's
an incredible.
Yeah, who's breakout star.
Yeah.
You know?
The
overweight
their voices
guy
were pretty overweight guy. Give them a couple years before they get into drugs. It'll be one dude.
Well, I read the most hysterical tweet. They said, "Wow, 2 of the members of One Direction already look dead inside. This does not bode well."
They're ahead of their time.
I guess maybe this is their big. Is this
coming
their
out
launch
for
into
sure,
America?
For sure. And now that said, I thought they were all right. I thought, you know, not my thing.
Sketchy.
Yeah,
but-
totally.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. I always feel like there's always like a boy or girl band in Britain. Like they're always pushing that.
Is that, well, I mean,
I don't know. I always feel that way.
I mean, it's the size of Riverside County, no? Isn't it? Like,
Yeah, I mean, right.
England, I mean.
I was well, maybe I was spoiled by NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, but I was hoping they would,
I've been ruined.
I
You
have.
sir are ruined by
because
that.
they at least danced and stuff, and they had different voices. Like all these, I mean, they had all good voices, but there wasn't like a spectrum.
You'll never enjoy a band like you did.
Dude,
NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
NSYNC, I have no problem saying like I don't own any of their albums, but they had some good jams. I will say that.
That
I'll
is
say
an
it.
extraordinary. You know what? We're running low on time.
sure
Otherwise, I would tear you a 5-minute new one for that one. So we might start next show
all right.
with
Bring it
your
on.
with your.
But let's talk about
You
these.
started. Can I just say you started with Street Graham and now you've gone to 98 Degrees
I'm
Graham.
Backstreet.
Okay, Backstreet. Now you're Backstreet.
Backstreet. You just let us
Oh,
know.
I can't believe I did that.
But yeah, let's talk about the
New cast
gossip.
member.
Yeah.
Well, new cast member first of all. 'cause
Okay,
that's
new
what I was
cast
saying.
member. Let's do it that way.
And you made an excellent point before the show, which
As
was
always.
your latest amazing point that you brought up, which is that the big to do, Kay McKinnon, who if you've seen her, if you were a fan of her stint on Logo's Big Gay Sketch Show, if you've seen her perform at UCB, she's got some great shows. Very funny young woman. The first openly gay, this is what made the media news, right? That's what we see, right? New cast member, the first openly gay member since Denitra Vance back in 85.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good point. Like,
Is that something to even write about?
Right.
Who cares?
what
I've
possible bearing does that have
Yeah.
on
We're still relevant.
anything?
Plus, I think there was plenty of people who were gay long before that, and probably openly so. It's just like you're on a sketch show situation. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean,
know?
if there was ever, you're right. If there's ever a type of show where that
Yeah.
is the most irrelevant thing ever,
Yeah.
it's a sketch show where you're basically playing not you.
Yeah.
Every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's a Reuters afterthought that somebody just heard that after she got
Yeah.
cast and were like, oh, here's a lead into this
Yeah.
article, but it was like, who cares?
Yeah. So
It's just to get on these search websites, like, oh,
yeah.
just get some hits, buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I just was like, old news.
Yeah, and
you
she
know?
was, she did great with her 2 impressions. And again, I feel bad that we got some cast members that kind of take a back seat. We mentioned Jay Farrow, but of course a lot of the women. We could talk about this now. The big news, Us Weekly, exclusive. Even though we said this weeks and weeks ago, months and months ago, I first said when we had an episode without Andy Samberg, I said, is Andy Samberg on his way out? Us Weekly is reporting that 3 cast members possibly will be leaving at the end of the season.
Yeah, Andy Samberg, Jason Sudeikis, and Kristen Wiig.
Right, who are the most prolific of all of the cast members, are the ones that are having the breakout movie careers.
Most definitely.
So it would make sense. But as we said before we went to commercial, does that create a black hole? Does that then significantly drop the quality of the
I need
show?
to create a black hole. I'm going to cough my brains out. I apologize.
All right,
guys.
that's all right.
That's all right,
BRB.
because I will let you know. It does.
This is live.
Do you think it does?
It does. Kristen Wiig has been the standout ever since she walked on the stage in 2005.
Right.
Jason Sudeikis has always been a solid player.
Yep.
Andy Samberg, not my favorite. I know Graham, if he could talk right now, he would tell you how much he likes him. I'll just hit the mic for him. So to each his own.
I'll do Graham then. I'll talk and I'll just say Andy Samberg is a guy that is very talented.
He's very
There he is.
talented.
Yeah,
I'm
so
back.
these people all have an important role in the show.
Yeah.
And if I had to list the only people that might screw up that top 3 order, if I was going to put people in the top 3, would be a Fred Armisen, who seems like he might be on his way out too.
He's starting to blow up for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, in very thin portions that he's serving up there. Also, Bill Hader.
Yes, of course.
And
not surprisingly, these are the guys that have been there the longest. So it's
Right,
like,
totally.
this is how it works, right? The older the veterans move on.
yes
the
and no, because
graduates.
some people take a year or 2, granted.
Yeah.
And some people, like a Kristen Wiig, are instantaneously a top performer on the show.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I don't know if it takes time. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But Jay Farrell, to me, who I think could be one of the top performers on the show, seems like he's going the way of a lot of other African Americans that have been on that show, where they just kind of disappear, and you're like,
Although Keenan, I'm surprised he has gotten some stage time himself. And
yeah, but
and
I don't
he's a
like
guy-
Keenan.
Well, but
That's just me.
But here's what I was
going
going to say was that when he first started,
Yeah.
he was not, and this, maybe because you don't like him, maybe because he's not a fan favorite.
Yeah.
I was surprised that they eventually elevated him. So it's, it's partially the strange alchemy that is the writers and your relationship and what gets written for you and what happens. But, Taron Killam, right?
Taron Killam, yeah.
Taron Killam
Yeah.
was, in a lot of the sketches
was
Yeah.
last night. He
and they're
was,
pushing him. I think he's going to be one of those to take
sure.
over. And I like most of his work.
Yeah.
Last night didn't really hit with me. Again, I wasn't a big fan of Watch What Happens Live. But I think There's a void. I mean, that's all I can say. Your question was that there's going to be a black hole, and it'll be interesting who they bring in over the summer.
Yeah,
that'll be very interesting because that could automatically fill the void. Obviously,
they say that Lorne Michaels is auditioning people. So
he is. Yeah. He's got to be. I know they were auditioning in Chicago 2 months ago. So and I'm not surprised since they needed somebody shorthand that they pulled somebody from New York like Katie McKinnon, who's across the street.
Right.
But there'll be a Groundlings, there'll be a UCB out here. They're going to be around, and they're going to pull, if these people leave, there's 3, they're going to pull 3 or 4 people.
Right.
And, like the 95, 96 season, if you grab yourself a Will Ferrell,
boom,
there is no black hole.
Yeah.
So it's yet to be seen, but
even so, I mean, it'll probably take a year or two. Like you said, I mean, Kristen Wiig did hit it pretty hard, but it still takes a while to catch up. Like the writers have to get to know you unless you bring in somebody that already writes for you.
Yeah.
So,
and it seems like they've been really hitting. Back in the early 90s, it was a half stand-up, half sketch comedy world. People they were fusing together. Now it seems like all sketch comedy. I don't really feel like they have many stand-ups that they've been getting. I can't think of a recent person who just
there's very few people
that
that just do stand-up now, and the ones that do, like, it's very hard to find. I mean, we're out here in LA, and it seems like everyone has. Maybe not stand-up. A lot of people that I know that do improv and sketch don't do stand-up.
Yeah.
But certainly the ones that do stand-up, you're either just completely in the stand-up world, in which case that's its own thing and you have no interest in this over here, or more likely, as in my case, you have a little bit of experience in everything and you got your hand in a lot of honey pots.
But it seemed like they were more interested, especially back then. I mean, Finesse Mitchell's the last person that comes to mind, and that was the early 2000s. That he was just a stand-up. He didn't even do anything else. Like a Kevin Nealon, just a stand-up. Dennis Miller, just a stand-up. Adam Sandler, just a stand-up. David Spade, just a stand-up.
Right.
A lot of these people. And then they'd mix them. Chris Farley, just a sketch comedy. He can write, So they used to do this fusion. Now it seems like they're just moving people who can create their own material.
Right.
So when that is the case in 95, when they did bring a lot of people who were just sketch, I think you can pop right away because you're coming in with characters.
Right.
You're not starting where, maybe it's always good for the writing staff to know you, but I don't think you're dependent on that. You're going to write a lot of things independently from yourself. So
Right.
We'll see.
So those of you out there, make sure you're cultivating your sketches.
Get your demo reel going.
Get it going because SNL is on the prowl, and who knows? Maybe you can. Once you get on there, you come out here and call into our show. So
I'm in charge of the female casting, so you could.
What are you going to cough all over?
Yeah, dude. I get sick.
He's got a little love seat he works on.
Our next show, who's the host?
It's Josh Brolin and
Josh
Gaultier.
Brolin and Gaultier. Yes, that's
Gaultier,
right.
I love Gaultier.
Yeah. So that should be a good show. And I like Josh Brolin.
Yeah, no, he's good.
I do a George Bush impression, so when he came out with that movie and he didn't do a good one, I was a little disappointed.
You were like, you bastard.
I was a little disappointed.
Been you.
And so I'll whip that out on the next episode. So another reason to watch. Come see my George W. Bush impression on the next episode.
Wow.
Where can we find you otherwise?
You can find me always at MatthewKyle.com. And what about you, Graham?
Good old Twitter. Same smart ass shit.
I am Graham High or just Graham High?
At Graham High.
At Graham High. I'm at Cinemario, Cinemario. Thanks for listening in. Thank you, Ronnie, in the booth. As always, we are here, AfterBuzz TV, Saturday Night Live. Make sure you download us. Tell all your friends about us. Write into us. Stay connected with us because without you, we are nothing. We're just a bunch of guys sitting in a room talking out into the void.
So feel better.
Thanks so much. All right, we will see you next time.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
I was just making sure you're okay.
Buzz you later.
You later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.